Good morning, everyone. How's it going? It's South Australia Post. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. Early in the morning, Breaking Dawn, and we're here with you live in the flesh here in Italy, just bringing you the latest news on Manchester United. Of course, it's Manchester United these days. It's all about Manchester United, and it's all about our club and knowing more international football rubbish, Southgate ball rubbish. We're dealing with Manchester United right now. That's what we're dealing with, and we're going to be dealing with Manchester United all season. Of course, Manchester United were in action last night against Rosenborg in a pre-season friendly. Of course, a very depleted United side. It was a United side full of young players, academy graduates, and etc. And United lost the game 1-0, of course. There's a bit of an overreaction from certain quarters. They, of course, were the Ten Hag outers, of course. And I brought you a show yesterday explaining how I feel about that and how everyone needs to unite and get behind the team rather than trying to pick out every single thing, every single loss. And all season, you're just going to have a miserable season next season if you carry on doing that, because I believe we're going to have a successful season. And if the people who want Ten Hag out are not up for supporting the team and supporting the club, then what can we do? What can we do about them other than just pity them and feel sorry for them? What can we do? We cannot give too much energy in regards to them. Now, let's go straight into it, straight into the news. Manchester United have made an inquiry for Jonathan Tah, the German international currently plays for Leverkusen. Is on United's radar. A defender, of course. He has had 29 caps for Germany, so he's not bad. 29 caps for Germany, and he's 28 years old. Do you think that fits the mould? Do you think Jonathan Tah would be a good signing for United by a Leverkusen player? On the other side of 20, not young, but good experience. So it might be a good buy. It might be good to add to our squad. How do you feel about that kind of player? You see, it's another player that is on the conveyor belt of names that have been on our list for ages, hasn't it? It seems like we've had so many names coming up, propping up, different name, and it's like we have a new name every single day, isn't it? So Jonathan Tah is the talk of the town right now. I found out about Jonathan Tah yesterday. I was going to bring it to yesterday. A bit more news about Jonathan Tah. Manchester United are prepared to make a bid for Jonathan Tah. I'm sure he won't go for too much. I'm sure the fee will be in the region of 25 to 35 million, which is a cheap option. Of course, Jonathan Tah is a German international. He is experienced. It's not one that rolls off the lips. It's not a name that is a household name that everyone knows about. But he does play regularly for Germany, quite experienced. So it would be a decent coup for United, a decent addition to our squad, of course. But we have to realise that we have to bring in Ligt, of course, and we've got other players that we want to bring in as well. So it's basically a rope to fall on, I believe. I believe if the deals for Ligt and Euro, etc., do fall through, I believe we'll have Tah to say Tah very much, and we'll take Tah, and I think it's a backup plan. In my personal opinion, I think if we sign Tah, it would be because we failed in other targets, in my opinion. I don't know what you think about that, but that's how I feel about it. Guys, thank you so much for joining me today. You guys are absolute legends. Please don't forget to smash the like, subscribe. So Jonathan Tah to Manchester United could be a possibility. I believe Jonathan Tah will be a Manchester United player if other transfer targets don't come our way. If they don't come our way, then Jonathan Tah will come to United. It's a backup plan, and it's good preparation, for the season if we don't succeed in what we need to do. Another player on the Man United radar, of course, is Ligt, and Ligt has been a talk of town for the last few weeks now. He's really been a name that's been mentioned every single stream. I mean, we're still talking with Ligt's representatives, and Bayern Munich, of course, are playing hardball. I believe this is getting a bit ridiculous in regards to the deal. I think the deal is stalling too much. I believe we have a breakthrough in the deal in regards to a personal terms, etc., which have been agreed. He does want to come to Manchester United. He's desperate to come to Manchester United. But we have not agreed a fee with Bayern Munich, which is the all-important thing. Of course, we agreed a fee for Jared. We agreed terms with Jared Branthwaite, didn't we? But Branthwaite and Manchester United, is one thing, but agreeing a deal with Everton is another thing, isn't it? So the deal with De Ligt is a similar sort of situation. Bayern Munich want more. They want obviously 42 million euros, going up to 50 million euros with incentives, etc. So they want that as well. So Braithwaite is De Ligt is a player that would fit nicely like a glove to United. But at the moment, it seems to be dragging on, and it seems to be that the negotiations and the back and forth are becoming a bit timeful, are becoming a bit not resourceful with the time, etc. So we need to get that over the line. Obviously, we got Xerxes, so we want to get these deals done quickly. We don't want to wait too long for these deals. I mean, De Ligt, it would be a good addition. I agree. It would be a fantastic addition. So I'll be happy with that deal, but we have to get a move on. If Bayern don't want to play ball, then we just have to move on to other targets. Of course, that brings me on to Leny Yoro. Leny Yoro has yet to make a decision about Manchester United and Real Madrid. Of course, Real Madrid have pulled out of the deal, so that leaves only one choice for Leny Yoro, but Leny Yoro is stalling at the moment. It looks likely that he will join Manchester United, though, because Real Madrid have stalled their interest in Leny Yoro. So I believe that he will become a Manchester United player very soon. All he needs to do is give the green light, and he will become a Manchester United player. So in regards to Leny Yoro, very talented young player, a player that would fit in very well with our structure, our new structure, and our new philosophy, so to speak. So Leny Yoro would be a very, very good addition to the squad. We need him to make a decision, though, because I'll tell you why. We're Manchester United, right? And if he's waiting for Real Madrid to come back in with an offer, and he's just leaving us in the background and thinking, I want to play for Real Madrid, then do we really want a player like that who doesn't really want to play for Man United 100% with his heart? We want players to play for Manchester United, want to play for Man United. This Real Madrid project, that Real Madrid have achieved everything. They've done everything that there is to do. So why not come to a club like Manchester United? Why not be passionate about coming to a club like Manchester United? Well, you most likely will be appreciated more, and you'll probably play a lot more than you would do at Real Madrid, for example. So Leny Yoro is yet to make a decision. Rumours is that he will make a decision in the next 28 to 48 hours. He will make a decision, holding the club to ransom, a teenager. It doesn't fit too well with me. I don't know what you think about that, but it doesn't fit too well with me in regards to this kind of thing, And I believe that Leny Yoro would be a good signing, but we cannot be chasing these players and being held to ransom by young players. They should be wanting to play for Manchester United and be passionate about playing for Manchester United. I personally believe that he will sign for Manchester United. He will become a Manchester United player. I believe that eventually. So, definitely a one to be looking out for. I believe it'll be sorted within the next week or so. In my personal opinion, things take time, of course. We've agreed a fee with Lille. Lille want him to go to Manchester United. Of course, they want him to go to Manchester United. They want the money, of course. So they want him to go to Manchester United, which would be a better deal for them. Now, Ugarte is obviously back from the Copa America, so things might be moving quickly with Ugarte. Ugarte, of course, has been on Manchester United's radar for a while now. For weeks, we've been talking about Ugarte. So Ugarte looks to be on his way back to Europe. I believe he's back in Europe now, and he should be going straight to his agent and for talks about a move to Manchester United. He's desperate for a move to Manchester United. He wants to come to Manchester United. He likes the project, and he wants to leave PSG. It hasn't worked out for him at PSG, of course. It's a difficult club to go to, and I believe he would be a brilliant addition to our midfield to complement Kobe Mainoo. Would be really good. Now, talks will begin this week with Ugarte's representatives, and hopefully a deal will be agreed very, very quickly. Of course, the Xerxes deal went very quickly once he came back from the European Championships. I believe that a similar thing will happen with Ugarte. Once he starts to talk to Manchester United, we'll get the deal up and running. So, one to look out for. A lot of things to digest. Of course, Gonzalo Ignacio, who was on Manchester United's list over the summer, has now gained interest from Liverpool, amongst other clubs. So they are ready to put in a bid for Gonzalo Ignacio, which is disappointing because I really like the player, 19 years old, 6'1", good defender, good prospect for in Portuguese football for Sporting Lisbon. Of course, Sporting Lisbon have a great conveyor belt of players, and it's sad that we haven't gone in for a bid for the player. He's going to probably go to Liverpool, which is a sad move for us. Of course, because I was a big fan of the player, and we have been interested in the player in the past. Of course, now Manchester United have been around Europe scouting players, looking for the next big thing. I mentioned Dan and Doy yesterday that Manchester United are after. So yeah, it's a bit madness, about the preseason, what's going on. Larouk, what's going on, bro? Serious result preseason last night. Yeah, you see the preseason result. Don't worry about it too much. Man United Academy were playing Rosenborg, who were in their 15th game of the season. So it's nothing to be crying about. It's nothing to be upset about. These things happen in preseason. We lose games in preseason. Sir Alex Ferguson famously lost some games in preseason, lots of games in preseason, including during the treble winning season. So we shouldn't take it too seriously. We should be looking at certain things like performances, certain individual performances that we look at. We should look at the Collier and VTech players like that who played really, really well last night. And we should be looking at that. That's what preseason's for. Finding the next big thing, building up sharpness and building up fitness. So there's a lot of people who are crying about it. Ten Hag outers in particular were scraping those crumbs off their table. So obviously we're not interested in that. What I'm interested in is Fulham on the first game of the season, getting these transfers in. That's what I'm interested in. Yes, pre-season results, performances are of a concern when it gets closer to the season, when we start getting not closer to Fulham games. So that's when I'll start getting, we're playing really badly. If we start losing 5 and 6-0, then obviously you're going to start getting concerned. But the team last night was a very makeshift side. The players haven't played together for a long time. And Rosenborg, of course, were basically in their 15th game of the season. It's not, mate, listen, the preseason games are just to get your fitness up and your sharpness up. We beat Arsenal last season in preseason. Yeah, if you get by that logic, we should have been a bit above Arsenal, right, in the league. Yeah, so yeah, don't worry about that too much. It's a youth team. There was no first team players playing apart from Rashford, I believe. Casemiro's totally unfit, very unfit. And Mason Mount hasn't played for months, so it's just a not something to concern yourself about. Believe me, as a Man United fan for 4 decades, I'm not too concerned about pre-season games, guys. So there you go. Shanji, I'm going to bring a guest on today. Shanji is a friend of mine, a guy who knows a lot about the game, a guy who I've had on my Twitter a long time. So I'm going to bring him in. I'm going to bring in someone. I'm going to bring a lot of you guests in. Of course, I'm going to get all of you involved to have a little chat with me. You can disagree with me. It's absolutely fine. But yes, add to this. Add him right now. Yeah. There we go. If I can get him on there. There we go. Into the stage. Right, let me just sort this out.
Yo,
I'm here. I've done it. You're my first guest on Breaking Dawn. You're the first guest, bro. What's going on, man? How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. It's good to see you, Stratford Post. I'm just kind of glad that the Euros is done. It's just back to the club business, and yeah, I'm not at all surprised when I saw some, whatever it is. I mean, like I just kind of mind my own business and like all these things. It is what it is. I mean, like I've noticed, like Rosenborg has actually played 15 games in Norway, isn't it?
And they played 15 games, and of course they've lost a few games. But there's nothing that compares to match fitness. Match fitness is very, very important. People are underestimating match fitness. You could play a national league side in England who've played 20 games, and if Man United have played no games and are unfit, they will lose to that national league side. That's how it
100%.
goes. You need fitness, and I think there's a little bit of an overreaction here. A lot of the people who are overreacting were Ten Hag outers. Of course, they're waiting for every little crumb there is, isn't it? That they want, they want to grab off the table. Look, I'm not saying that Ten Hag is invincible. I'm not saying that he's going to go throughout the season without losing a game. He's gonna lose games. You know, we're gonna struggle. This is a process at the end of the day. But I believe you should just ignore these pre-season results. If we lose 6-7-0 in closer to the first game against Manchester City in the Charity Shield and then Fulham, then you can start getting a little bit concerned. But it doesn't really matter to me. We beat Arsenal last year comfortably, and then what happened? You know, it doesn't really matter to me. In the past, we've beaten Real Madrid 4-1. You know, we've beaten teams like that. We've gone in pre-season and beaten Barcelona 3-0. We've done the whole thing. You know, with this pre-season thing.
Right.
You know, so it's good to see. But yeah, in regards to that, what do you feel about that anyway? About certain parts of the fan base overreacting with these results?
They was from what I have noticed, like they were saying like they were just concerned about the same repeat of the patterns of play or like whatsoever. I'll be very honest, like we have, from like what I've noticed in our lineup, we have just only like three main players. The rest of them are like I like I like the new up and coming players. I'll be very honest. I like the new goalkeeper. I forgot is it Vitek? He
Yeah,
made some,
yeah.
he made some couple of good saves. Then this new guy. What was his name? Toby Collier or something like that.
Yeah, we only signed him this week. Really,
Yeah.
yes, very good.
Yeah, he looked pretty promising. And Harry Amas, the new name. He's a left back, right? He looks like a little raw, but I'm sure he'll come good. So I think he needs to be integrated a little bit slowly and stuff. And I think from transfers, from like what I've seen so far, I'm just happy that we are just actually fixing the we are just fixing the baseline so far. So I think Matthias de Ligt should be done this week, if I'm not being mistaken. For me personally, if for the Leny Yoro situation, if he doesn't want to come to United, just like leave him alone. I'd rather sign Goncalo Inacio.
Yeah, exactly what you mean. You speak, man. You speak my language, brother. You know what I mean? I'm thinking exactly the same. You know, I think that if the Ligt is stalling, if Bayern Munich are stalling, we need to move on. We cannot do this same thing, De Jong sort of situation again. If he wants to come, then that's great. Yeah, but at the end of it, we cannot agree a fee. That's just like the Branthwaite deal. We cannot agree with a fee with Everton. Branthwaite has agreed a deal with Manchester United. He wants to come to Manchester United, but if we cannot agree a fee, move on. Say, okay, Bayern, you go your way. We're going after Ignacio. Ignacio's 19 years old, a very, very good player. I don't know why we're not in for the player anyway. Just quickly, Tony Fullerene, good morning, buddy. How you doing? Hope you're well. Donovan Pele, agree even with the players were fit. You cannot be match fit. Match fitness is another thing you have to get, you know. Of course, it's not just about fitness and sharpness, it's about match fitness as well. But of course, once we get closer to the season, once we get to Fulham and we're really in a bad shape, you know, then I would worry. But I'm not at all worried about that. Exactly. But as you were saying, I would move on to new defenders if we cannot get De Ligt over the line. I mean, he hasn't been a world beater this last few years. He hasn't been an elite defender in regards to playing well at Juventus and Bayern Munich. Hasn't done great. Of course, I won't judge him on that. Everything is different. Life is multi-layered. You can come to Man United and become a legend. You know, so that happens sometimes. It just doesn't work out for you for whatever reason it is. But at the end of the day, if Bayern Munich are not playing ball, we need to move on, in my opinion. Another player, Ugarte, should be done. Hopefully, now he's back from Copa America. Are there any positions on the pitch that you feel like should be a priority in regards to signings? Like Ugarte obviously is one. We do need a midfielder. Are there any other signings that you would prioritise for Man United?
I think I personally say a left back because I can't because we can't really rely on Luke Shaw. Malasia, I don't know because he's been pretty much out. He was out for the whole season, like from last season. He was out. So it's going to take some time for him to get back to actually get back to match fitness. So we do need a left back. The right back situation, I don't know because there are clubs who are just lowballing for Wan Bissaka, and if the clubs are trying to lowball, we might as well just keep him because yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Let me just sort this out. Yeah. Well, it doesn't look like anyone's going out the door. This is the thing, nothing has been said about Wan-Bissaka recently. Lindelof, Maguire. Maguire had rumours that he might go to West Ham, slight rumours, but
Okay.
nothing concrete on regards to him. So yeah, it's a strange one that we're not selling any players. This is another concern for me. This is a problem that we've had over the years: is getting rid of players, of course, on astronomical wages. I was very shocked to see Xerxes getting 56,000 a week. It's like refreshing, like wow, 56,000. I mean, obviously 56,000 is a lot of money, but let's just say 56,000 a week. That is absolutely new to us. That's alien to us because we're usually
Yeah.
200,000, 300,000, like Anthony. And we leave ourselves in a predicament where we cannot get rid of these players, and this is the problem with it. This is the problem. How do you feel Ten Hag would do next season? I know there's a lot of doubts within the fan base, and there's belief and doubts. There's people who want him to do badly. There's people who believe in him all the way and will die on this hill. How are you in regards to Ten Hag?
Um. Yeah, I'd say realistically top three this season, and I would say retain the FA Cup, um, retain the I would say retain the FA Cup. Because in case if our bench is not that strong from like next season, then I personally I just want to focus on the Premier League and the FA Cup. Um, I'm not sure about the Europa League because of the new format and stuff like that. I will be happier to reach into quarterfinals. Because you don't even know like any other teams because if we don't have like the if you don't have the squad depth in terms of quality players that can come from the bench, then there's no point in like really going into all competitions. So I'd rather just if we have less squad depth, I'd rather focus on the FA Cup and the league.
Yeah, Europa League's a notoriously hard tournament to win, especially when you get into the quarterfinal and the semi-final. You start
Quarterfinals,
playing
especially in quarterfinals.
Champions League sides. You start playing that. Of course, I would like to go after every trophy. I'm a big fan of European football, so I would like us to win more European trophies. That comment from Jose Mourinho, the football heritage one, sort of sticks in my head. So obviously, like I want to start winning more European trophies just to stick that to him and stuff like that. The Europa League is a tough trophy. We've only won it once, so we've been to a final. We lost on penalties. We've been to a semi-final. It's one that we should go for. But we need a squad. Definitely need a squad. We need a bigger squad. We need to bring some of those young players in. I was very excited yesterday about some of the young players coming through. Were there any young players yesterday that you felt impressed? Apart from obviously Vitek played very well, and Colin Eyes in it, he played well as well. Are there any others that you came through the academy that you feel like were really good yesterday?
Um, this Ethan Williams or on the right. I thought he was all right. Ethan Wheatley, I think Ethan Wheatley is the one to is the one to watch for. I think he could play. He could be a good watch in the Europa League if he plays as a third choice striker from next season. So I think Ethan Wheatley would look promising from next season. So I'm not sure. I'm not really sure about the rest, but I think it's just very few names that I think I think three players kind of impressed me. I'm not sure about the rest.
Yeah, I mean, I was very excited about Harry Amas coming through because obviously we need a left back. He's got good structure about him, good size. Was Luke Shaw's favourite player last season in regards to youth players? He was asked, who do you think will break through the youth team? And he said Harry Amas. And
Okay.
of course, you can't judge him solely on that game yesterday. People are going to judge,
Yeah, yeah, of course.
him on that, and he's played poorly, and etc. and etc. But you need to give him a run of games, in my opinion. And we have to be excited about the future in regards to these young players, but we also have to be patient. It's cautious optimism. At the end of the day, we have to practice with these guys, and that is with everything at the club. You have to be cautiously optimistic. You can't be cautious and negative all the time. And this is what I've been saying. I mean, I've been down the line of being angry and distraught about the manager and this, about we've only gone to Solskjaer with Jose Mourinho. I've sat at the stands. I've been Jose Mourinho out. I've been Ole out. I've been all these things. And at the end of the day, these things don't really help. But with this manager, I see something in this manager that he brings
Same,
through the youth. Right,
same.
he has the kind of philosophy that we are based upon. He understands it, and there's certain things about him like that. He can get over the line, as it proved against Manchester City. He can win those big games. He can. In regards to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he was vibes. He came second, obviously 20 odd points behind Man City, but he came second. But it's just that when it came to that crunch, when he needed to win the game, like against Villarreal, for example, and he lost the game, and that game should be winning. And it's Ten Hag would have won that, probably would have won that game. And I touch upon this Southgate thing for England, and I say like there's certain games that Ten Hag would have done better in. Ten Hag would have done better against Spain than Southgate. He would have had his team ready and
For sure.
structured to win that game.
For
His tactical masterstroke in the FA Cup final, obviously playing Bruno as the false nine, playing
Oh
McTominay
yeah,
up there as well. It was a tactical masterstroke, and it worked. And I believe once he gets all his players back, a few young players coming through, gets all his players, all his transfers through, I think he would be a very, very, very good manager for Manchester United. People just need to be a little bit more patient, a bit more
of
smart
course.
in regards, should I say, and yeah, I think the problem with some of the fan base is that the ego is a bit damaged at the moment, and obviously because they had a big opinion and a big kind of celebration when they thought he was getting sacked. They went
Oh yeah.
online posting pictures and stuff and celebrating, and they celebrate too soon. A bit of prematurity from them, and I believe now, it's human nature. People are going to be a little bit bitter, and because obviously in my space, in our space, we have a lot of people who it's almost like an ego trip sort of thing of I want to be right. I want to be the first breaking the news. I want to be the first saying this. I got my sources. I got this. Now, this is the problem with it, and this, at the end of the day, what I boil it down to, this is about the football club. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's not about anyone. It's about the football club. And the best thing for the football club was Eric Ten Hag staying, and it has stayed. If he falls flat on his face, that's football. That happens. He can lose games. He will go. That's all. But he deserved that third season, right? And he's got another season. If he does well next season, he'll get a new contract. So I'm
100%.
really, really happy about that. So tell me more about yourself, man. Where can we find you? Tell me about your channel and your Twitter,
Um,
etc.
you guys can find me on the YouTube channel called Kenny Fan TV. I'm just approaching towards 100 subscribers. I've just only recently started, to be honest. And Yeah, Twitter. You can find me. It is Sachifama98. You can find me there.
Great, and don't forget to follow Kenny. He's been on this channel a few times, commenting, etc. So he's a good shows big support. Don't forget to subscribe to Kenny Fan TV. Yeah, and you make sure he's got a good football opinion. You know, build up those subscribers. We'll see you when in a year's time, and you'll be massive, mate. So obviously we all have to
Of
start
course,
somewhere.
definitely.
We all have to start somewhere. Thank you, Shanji. Thank you so much for joining me.
Big up
Take
yourself.
it easy.
Take it
Big
easy.
up. Take it easy. Yeah, that was Sanjay. Thank you so much for him. I'll be having a lot more people on the show coming up very, very soon. Of course, if you do want to come on the show, just let me know. I'm happy to have you on. We're a family. We're a community. We're going to build together. We need to build the whole our channels together and build an empire of people coming. Big up Mark. Mark. He's the what is it? What do I call it? He's the phantom of football knowledge. Is Mark. So big up Mark. What's going on? Yeah, so definitely lots to look forward to. I don't get this narrative that we should be playing 100% tiki-taka football in the preseason game against Rosenborg, who Rosenborg are full 15 games into the season. I don't get it, to be honest with you. I don't know about you, but I don't get it. I just think people are clutching at straws here. I think they should be standing in McDonald's clutching on their straws and just, doing whatever, because at the end of the day, it's a preseason game, a team that's never played together before. The best thing about yesterday's game is that we're finding future players who could do well. Look at no one knew about VTech yesterday, did they? But they do now. People's talking about VTech. They know about VTech now. That's what preseason's about. Preseason's about finding the next gem. Building up sharpness, building up fitness, building up match fitness. It's multi-layered, guys. You have to think about top level sport. What's the difference between Usain Bolt and the man who comes second? What's the difference? Fitness and sharpness and obviously match fitness, running fitness, practice is everything. You cannot just say, oh, Rosenborg are rubbish, and this is the thing, Mark, I've been banging the drum for a long, long time, about Mason Mount. I never wanted Mason Mount as a signing, of course. We're on the same page, Mark, more or less. We agree about the same things, of course. And when we get a chance to speak on Mick's show, sometimes we do talk about it and stuff like that, And Mason Mount was one of the players, Yeah, in fitness-wise, they didn't look good. I agree, but obviously that will build. And Ten Hag obviously wasn't happy yesterday with the fitness. He mentioned that he wasn't happy with the performance as well. So that's good to hear. He's not happy with the performance. Of course, we have to be professional. But I'm concerned about certain players. I'm concerned about Rashford. I'm concerned about Mason Mount. The senior players I'm more concerned about. And there was some decent moments playing out from the back. Yeah, this is why we need those signings in, bro. We need those signings in. We do. And we need to reshuffle that side big time. I was very excited to see Harry Amas play. Of course, he looked a bit shaky. He looked a bit of fish out of water a little bit. But obviously, he's new and it's his first game as well. He needs fitness and he's a young player and we have to give him a chance. I really want him to do well because obviously we need a left back. So if he could do well and he can push on and he can impress, we won't need to really worry too much about another left back, will we? So I'm a bit concerned a little bit, but I wouldn't make it the end of the world, of course. We've won games in pre-seasons, as I mentioned to Shanji. We beat Real Madrid before, we've beaten 4-1. Yeah, wasn't it 4-1? We've beaten Barcelona. We've done badly in the league, So I would happily take a bad pre-season, and simply hope that we start the league well. What I don't like is fans' overreaction. Obviously, we have a few of the Ten Hag out brigade who are really, really going for it like it was the Champions League final, and they were looking forward to that. They were really, really looking forward to that, like a kid going into Toys R Us. They were like, "Oh my God, I told you, ball fraud, blah blah blah, all this rubbish, rah rah rah." Because obviously they are proven to be kind of idiotic last season, celebrating too soon, etc. When the race wasn't won or lost. So they need to just move on from that and just look at it critically and obviously judge it for what it is, because what it was a pre-season friendly. Mark, exactly. It's the pre-season game and the first game against our team. Exactly, Mark. Exactly. And the thing is, if we go into a few days before the Charity Shield against Man City, and we're losing 5-0 and we're losing 6-0, then you can start saying, well, this is looking a bit concerning here. There's a few players who are back and we're still losing. Then you can. But what we have to realize is it's a mismatched team. It's a team full of Casemiro, looked obviously unfit. Mason Mount hasn't played for months, of course. Vitek was making his debut, of course. We had a number of young players making their debut, of course. Rashford was unfit, of course, as well. Didn't play in the Euros. This is his first game of the season. And although it is Marcus Rashford, you can't just click your fingers and expect him to take on 10 players and bury it into the corner. And this is the thing, it's going to take time, and it's going to take a few more pre-season games. Do you know what I mean? If it was a National League side, if it was a League 2 side, if it was a League 1 side playing against Man United yesterday, they probably would have struggled. If Real Madrid, let me tell you, if Real Madrid didn't play for months, right, and they had their first pre-season game and they were playing Altrincham, for example, and Altrincham are 20 games into their season, Altrincham will have a chance to win the game. Believe that. Fitness is everything. It's everything. And match fitness as well. And that's another thing. It's everything. And if you've watched football for a long time, if you understand it, you would understand that it's pivotal in winning and losing. And we have lacked fitness over the years. That is concerning. I agree. Of course, we've got new coaches coming in, which is exciting. That hopefully the fitness will improve in our squad. I believe we haven't been as fit as we should be, of course. So hopefully that will get better as time goes on, and we will get fitter and we will play better and we will win games. I'm excited about next season. I'm excited about the first game against Fulham. We shouldn't underestimate Fulham. Fulham are going to be up for it. They know, definitely they know what's going. They know that we're in a new process and they want to shut us down, of course. Yeah, lots of nerves on the pitch. Lots of nerves, Mark, bro. At the end of the day, they play young players and they're going to be nervous, and we need some kind of psychiatrist in there just to wake them up a little bit and, and say, you're playing for Man United here, take the opportunity. Like Kobe Mainu did last season, like Garnacho did a couple of years ago. Take your chance. You get on that pitch, take your chance. Now or never. Now or never. You're a young Man United player, take your chance. Go for it. You have nothing to fear. Fear is just a feeling. It's just something that you feel inside, but you are in control of your own mentality. You are in control of your body. You are in control. You control your feelings. Put that in your head. You are in control. You control it. Not any of the elements from outside. Not Rosenborg. You're going to play much bigger games than that. Just remember that you're bigger than you think and you're better than you think, and just go out there and prove it. Because you are. And that's exactly the message I would send across to those players, not to be nervous and grab the opportunity. Kobe Mainu did, and Kobe Mainu was in the team of the Euro 2022 tournament within 6 months, guys. Can you believe that? Garnacho killing it for Argentina. The next big thing in Argentina is Garnacho. He's their next Messi, so to speak. Of course, I'm not comparing him to Messi, but in regards to their main player. So be confident and just go for it, and don't be nervous, because at the end of the day, we're here for a short time, and you have to go out there and seize every opportunity. That's what you have to do, and try and go for it and try and win. You're playing for Man United here, go for it. Do you know what I mean? So, Donovan, what's going on? It's a process that has begun. Everyone is under scrutiny, Ten Hag and most of the players. Let's just get behind everyone involved. Support sports, what we are, Man. Absolute facts, Donovan, and I couldn't say it better myself. I think that the problem is in the section of the fan base is that their ego was severely hurt last season. Of course, they all have big mouths, so obviously they think they're the all-knowing and this and that. I'm 4 decades in this game, right, with Man United, with football in general. Right, I'm an old guy when it comes to Man United, and I've seen a lot. I've seen us without a title in 24 years, not 26, 24 is when I started supporting Man United. So it's I've seen Leeds win titles. I've seen us, low in the league. I've seen everyone shouting for Sir Alex Ferguson's name out of the club, and I've seen it all. And I've seen us lose big friendly games. I've seen us lose to York City 3-0 in the League Cup. I've seen it all. It's just at the end of the day, football is a sport where anything can happen, especially if you're not up to scratch, if you're not up to fitness, if you're not up to match fitness, etc. You can lose a game. Every one of those players who play for Rosenborg played football all their lives. They're not bums. They play football all their lives. They play professional football, right? Each one of them can play football. They're not rubbish, right? They can play football. They play in the top league, competitive league, right? And they play. So if you're not up to scratch, no matter who you play, no matter if you're playing a team in the lower end of the leagues, in the National League, or you're playing in the Premier League or Champions League, fitness is imperative. There's fine margins in top level sport. Top level sport is about fine margins. And this is exactly what Ineos was saying. Exactly. Ineos was saying fine margins. They're pointing out about fine margin. And that is actually true. What's the difference between someone who can win a 100-meter race, who comes third, and the difference with the guy who comes first? What's the difference? What's the difference between Manchester City and Real Madrid? What's the difference between Barcelona and Real Madrid? What's the difference between Manchester United and Real Madrid? It's fine margins. It's not big margins, it's fine margins. Success is fine margins. England lost to Spain on fine margins, right? It takes that one bit of you're not quite there to get the ball. You're not quite there. Bang, 2-1. You've lost the final. That's fine margins. And if you're not up to scratch, if you take the game for granted, just like Manchester City did in the FA Cup final, you will get stepped on and you will lose the game. And that is football. That's the way football is. And that's the way cookie crumbles sometimes. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Smash a like. Thank you to Shanji, and thank you to everyone in the chat who got involved, especially the guys who always get involved every morning. Mark, legend, thank you so much. Hope to get you guys on the channel. Whenever anyone wants to come on the channel, have a chat with me. Let me know your feelings. If you disagree with me, if you like what I'm saying, by all means, go for it. Exactly, Mark. This is not FIFA. Yeah, it's not FIFA. We lost to MK Dons, Kenny, exactly 4-1 in the League Cup in the first game. We weren't fit. Remember that. You're welcome, Kenny, anytime. Big up Donovan. Pattern of play, man, you're an assist, not say. Ratanapan, or Larouk. Can I call you Larouk? Sorry, bro. At the end of the day, pattern of play. And I said this yesterday, right? Yes, pattern of play is important. I agree. But what you have to remember, some players can't play a certain style. You cannot get a League One side or a Championship side and say, right, you guys here, play tiki-taka. You can't do it, can you? It won't work. They're not good enough. You cannot get Mr. Griffiths, who plays for Leyton Orient. I want you to be the next Zidane. He can't do it because he's not good enough. If you cannot implement a style of football, if you've not got the players to implement a style of football, you cannot judge the manager on that because he hasn't got his players in. He's had one bloody game with those players. A pre-season is not even started yet. Has he had time on the training field with those players? What, a few days? Come on, guys. It took Pep Guardiola months to get that team playing how they play. You have to give it time. Please be patient. That's what it's about. It will happen. It will occur. And you can come back to me afterwards and you can say, I told you. If it starts badly, if we lose to Fulham, if we draw against Fulham and we end up going on a bad run, you can come back to me and you say, look, I told you. And I say, well, you got a point. But at the moment, it's the first game of the season. Yes, Kennedy. Big up everyone, though, who's on the chat. And what's it about? It's about opinions. I'm not worried at the moment. You have your opinion, you're worried? Okay, but don't worry, my friend. Don't worry. Trust me. It will get better. At the end of the day, a lot of those young players will play. A lot of those young players will be put on loan. So when the youth team come through, one or two will come through. One or two. And those one or two, of course, will go on to big things like Mainu, like Garnacho. Not everyone makes it. During the Alex Ferguson days, we had players like Terry Cook, Phil Moraine, players of that nature, and players don't always make it, even if they're in the team. You know, even if they get in the team and they get a chance, they don't always make it. Unfortunately, they don't. You know, and we played a number of young players, even in the League Cup back in the day. We played a lot of youth players, and some of them didn't take their chance. As I mentioned earlier, York City, we lost 3-0 to York City at Old Trafford once, and we played a bunch of kids. And a lot of those players disappointed Sir Alex Ferguson. A lot of those players didn't make it. Some of them you didn't see again, you know. Pat McGibbon, another one, you know. And I think that you have to be smart and you have to be patient. Lerouk, if Man United lose to Rangers and go on a bad run and they start losing loads of games in pre-season, yes, you have cause for concern. I do believe that, right? You have cause for concern. But I would wait until the players come back, the main players, you know, the Licha Martinez of this world, you know what I mean? And of course, Luke Shaw coming back, of course, Rasmus coming back, of course, Garnacho coming back, Mainu coming back, you know, Fernandez coming back. You know what I mean? Dalot coming back. It's a whole team there, you know? Like, for example, yesterday, you got 2 or 3 players who impressed, and that's all that matters. You can look at those 2 or 3 players and think, he's the next one through, you know, and he can come and fit into us. Well, that's what it's about right now. It's the first game of the season. Don't worry. And don't feed into the narrative, man. I've seen a lot of things as a Man United fan. I've doubted Man United many times. I've been like you. I've doubted Man United 100,000 times in the past, and they've always proved me wrong. You know, especially under Sir Alex Ferguson days. I was there on the Man United forum back in the days when we didn't have Twitter and we didn't have social media, going, oh, I really don't like that Darren Fletcher. He's rubbish. I was typing it down. I was writing forums and stuff. I was going in on the forum. I was banned from the Man United website 3 times. I had to do different emails and different accounts. And I had my season ticket on that account. Do you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, let's see. Be patient. Let's see. You know, because Fletcher proved me wrong, didn't he? Right. So let's just see. Okay, and we'll go and when we'll go down that avenue and we'll cross that road when it gets closer to the season, and you know Fulham is on the horizon. Yeah, but I agree with your concerns. It's good to be concerned. I know you're concerned, but I'm not, because I've seen it. And I saw a lot of good things in that game as well as bad things. And that's what pre-season's about. Don't judge Ten Hag on a pre-season. He was visibly upset by the performance. You saw it. He was. So don't judge him on that, pressure in the game. Rosenborg are not a small team, my guy. They've been champions a number of times in Norway. Norway is not a league to be sniffed at. You don't know any of their players. You don't know if one of their players is going to be the next big thing. Last season, we had 63 injuries, mate. It was a record amount of injuries. We also had off-field problems like Sancho, Greenwood, Anthony, Maguire, Rashford, off-field issues all over the place. Media barrage. But who had the silverware at the end of the season? Tell me. Ten Hag. Drop mic, guys. At the end of the day, thank you so much, Rat. I admire your passion, and I respect your opinion. Rat, Leroux, support the team, and that's all I say. That's what I say to you. Support the team, and we'll cross that avenue. We'll be talking to each other. We'll see you next season, and we hope we do well. Pray we do well. Okay, we're gonna do well. Believe me, I'll die on this hill. We will do well. Mark, all you guys in the chat. Thank you for joining me, of course. Shanji, thank you for coming on the show. My first guest, you're a legend. Thank you so much. You guys are absolutely legends. Don't forget to subscribe and smash a like. We move on, Naruk. You're a legend too. Thank you. Keep supporting the team. Don't worry. That's what we'll say. Don't put your blood pressure up. It will get better. Trust me. I see a lot of things in this. We were proven right last season, right? You saw a little bit when Martinez came back last season against Man City, what happened, didn't you? You saw what could happen if we have our first team out there. Well, half our first team, even half unfit players as well. So you know what can happen. So don't worry about it. We move on. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. Please smash a like. You guys are legends. Thank you so much. I'll see you when news breaks. I'll definitely be back. As soon as anything happens, as soon as any transfers happen, I'll be here with you guys to spit the gospel. All the best, guys. Thanks so much.